In today's Lions Talk Live, we're going to talk about 5 different reasons why I believe Detroit Lions are going to have a chance to win against Jacksonville Sunday at Ford Field. I know I talked about it in yesterday's show. It's a must-win game for Detroit. Part of that is you win, you stay relevant in the playoff chase. So from here on out, let's all look at it this way. Every game the Lions play is a playoff game. You lose one, maybe 2 more, and you've got 0 shot at the playoffs. So it's win or go home, and we're going to dive into all that and maybe just a little bit more in today's Lions Talk Live. Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I'm your host, once again, Dan Thornton. I want to thank you for tuning in, taking time out of your busy Friday for Lions Talk Live. And today we're going to dive into a couple different reasons, 5 of them in total, why I think Detroit Lions have an opportunity to win this upcoming Sunday. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. It takes you all of 2 seconds to hit the subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and hey, throw some ideas about this video in the comments section below. What are your reasons for the Lions having an opportunity to win or lose on Sunday? What do you think as far as ideas for upcoming videos? I know a few of you have thrown out ideas that you'd like us to do, and thank you for that. I'm going to try to address those video ideas on slower days during the week, so maybe like a Monday or a Tuesday, when traditionally there's just less Lions news. All right, let's get into reason number 5 on a scale from 5 up to 1 on why I think the Lions have an opportunity to win this Sunday. Reason number 5 is simply this: the Lions secondary. We should be as healthy and as complete as any game this season. Jeff Okudah should be back this game. Jerry Jacobs should be good in this game. You've got Deshaun Elliott back. You've got Jerry Jacobs back. You know, whatever matrix and person you want to put on there, the Lions should be at full strength. And I think, along with Kirby Joseph, the Lions are going to be as good as they're going to be this season in the secondary. You've got a lot of people that have offered depth, that have developed over the course of the year. And let's be fair when talking about Jacksonville. Like we noted yesterday in the breakdown video, Jacksonville is very balanced on offense. Their strength is probably more their running game than their passing game. With that said, Trevor Lawrence has been hot as of late and is starting to look more and more like a number 1 overall pick, like a first-round pick that you thought would be the franchise of this team, the face of the franchise, if you will. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a great opportunity for Detroit to remove half of Jacksonville's offensive options. If the secondary can hold up, if they can stay in with their persons, no miscommunications, I think we got a real good chance to break down half of their offensive options. Reason number 4 as to why I think the Lions are going to have an opportunity to win, and it's going to be simply this: sticking with the defense, we're going to go with the front 7 now. We talked about the secondary. You know, I think the Lions, especially with the emergence of James Houston, if he only gets 5 or 6 snaps this week, I've got a lot of questions as to why. We talked about it in the start of Lions Talk Live. We didn't understand why he was sitting on the bench, why he was on the practice squad. Yes, I get he's not great against the run and defending the run, but he is elite level, in my humble opinion, one of the better ones. I'm not saying he's Lawrence Taylor or anybody like that, but I think he can provide something this defense currently does not have. Speed rusher who can get around any tackle fairly easy, and his motor keeps going. So much like Aiden Hutchinson has a motor that keeps going, now you got guys on opposite sides, both taking on some tackles. One's going to help the other, and I think the dawn of the coming of the silver rush of the 1970s for the Lions is starting to reemerge. We're not going to say it's just James Houston that's going to make the difference, but the front 7 of Detroit now has some balance. You have some depth. And anytime you have depth, you've got options. In the past, especially over the last 20 years, it's not that the Lions didn't have people that could get after the quarterback. It's just when one of those guys went out or got injured, there just wasn't a lot of depth. But now you've got a number of guys, Julian Okwara, assuming he is able to play this weekend with his elbow. You've got, Hutchinson, Houston. You've got a bunch of guys that can put consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, while he's not viewed as a mobile quarterback or runner, hey, this guy can scramble. He can get out of the pocket and hurt you with his legs. He's 6 foot, I believe 6. He's got a pretty good arm. He is a pocket passer. But let's not forget, if he's given an opportunity, he can get out and run. And I believe having a few more speed rushers on the outside help bottle him in and force him into people like Aleem McNeil. So the Lions front seven is going to have an opportunity to step up and make some plays, I believe, this game. Reason number 3 as to why I think the Lions are going to have an opportunity to win. For the first time in what seems like forever this season, the Lions offense, Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, are going to have all the receivers available. We don't know if Jameson Williams will play. When I'm shooting this video, it's about almost noon on Friday. We got 4 hours until the Friday report comes out. But I'm going to say this: Shark, Reynolds, St. Brown. It's going to be the first time since really the first couple weeks of the season that all 3 of these guys are on the field and playing together. Remember last year, the last 6 games when Reynolds arrived and then St. Brown emerged, the Lions had one of the better offenses in the league. Goff, over those last 6 games, was the number 4 quarterback in all the NFL, just over those 6 games. At the start of this season, when you had all those guys on the field together, we had the best offense in all the NFL. So why does Goff's play come down? Why did the offense come down? Well, some of that I got to believe is because Shark and Reynolds were out together at portions of the season, and that impacted the ability of the offense to really do things outside of some, short crossers and things of that sort. Reason number 2 why I think the Lions are going to have an opportunity to win. Jacksonville's secondary is not great. Their front 7, on the other hand, I'm not going to say they're great, but they're pretty good. And one thing they excel at is rushing the quarterback. One thing, in my opinion, watching them, they're not great at is defending the run. So our strength is running the ball. As far as our offensive line, unless it's a 1 yard to go, we're good at all other aspects of running the ball. But if it's 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, we're not the greatest for whatever matrix or reasons that may be. But with a strong running game and now a healthy wide receiving core, I do believe you'll see the Lions offense put up some points and in a hurry. Combine that with controlling the ball, taking an early lead, putting pressure on Jacksonville to become more and more one-dimensional. I think the Lions have the opportunity to not just win, but win maybe by 10 points. I know yesterday's video I predict the Lions to win by 3, but that's going to be on the coaching staff, and that might be a clue to what reason number 1 is. Reason number 1 as to why I think the Lions are going to have an opportunity to win. You're going to have to ride or die with these guys, but it's going to be the coaching staff, Dan Campbell and company, and we're going to have to show that they are progressing as coaches. I think anybody who's watching the Detroit Lions can say, yes, the talent level is developing. The rookies are clearly developing. The 2nd and 3rd year players are contributing and developing. But can we say that about the coaching staff? There's a lot of things we can pinpoint and say, hey, look at this or that as to reasons to have pause with the coach's development. But we're going to have to see that clock management, in-game management, and adjustments are taking place on offense, defense, and from the game manager that should be your head coach. If we can see that over the last 6 games, then I'm all on board with sticking with this staff, assuming they're all going to return next year. But if not, then I think we all got to have some conversations about what do we have to do to improve the people, the leadership controlling the team, that being the coaches. Sticking on with reason number 1, Dan Campbell's going to be the first person we talk about. He's got to do a better job of game management. And I believe, hopefully, learning from some of these opportunities this year where we've lost some close games, and perhaps he can go back and reflect and say, hey, what could I have done differently here? What could I have done to help the team and my players out more? Dan Campbell, I believe, is a very driven person to become better. I believe he's all in. I believe he is who he says he is. I believe he's an honest and forthright person. Because of that, I do believe he is going to spend a lot of time during the season and then definitely in the offseason working on his shortcomings as a head coach. And if we can see that here Sunday, if we can see that he's improving, listening to people perhaps with more experience, trying to give him some wisdom, then I do believe Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson are going to show growth, going to show some strength, and going to lead this team in a positive direction. And that's going to mean a Lions win Sunday. A Lions win Sunday, again, pushes us another week deeper in the season where we remain in the playoff conversation. I know I wanted 6 wins at the start of the year. They win Sunday, then I believe we have an opportunity for 7 or 8 wins. I think we'd all agree it would be great if the Lions can make the playoffs this year, but all I came into this season wanting to see was 6 wins. You've doubled up what you got the year before. If we can get to 7 or 8, then you've shown significant growth. But is that growth a reflection of just the drafted players, or can we say it includes the coaches? That's, I think, what the big question we should all be asking out of our team. Making the playoffs, I think, is going to be a long shot. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but we need to see that our team, our coaches, are keeping relevant later in the year because, you know what? Playing under pressure, playing under duress builds a team. It's easy to win when there's no pressure. It's easier to make a call what's going to affect a game when there's no stress or pressure on it. We lose, so what? We're not going to the playoffs. I want to see that all these guys, players, coaches, support staff, are getting an opportunity every week to learn to be able to think under duress. So I'm going to wrap up this video with that thought. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. I hope you all have a great Friday. Gentle reminder, we do not do Lions Talk Live on Saturdays, so we'll see you all Sunday after the game for another episode of Lions Talk Live. Take care.